Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Total Annihilation replay. You might be wondering, where on earth have I been? Well, I did have one of those games pre-recorded before my new child arrived. However, I have been on paternity leave as I have been attending to the new person. So, what I've got for you here today is a ProTA game. This is the new mod that is made by Venom. And here we have two OTA players going head-to-head, I believe from different eras, because I don't think Nick and Jorn really played that much back in the day. But here we have BTU Natas versus OZ Coolnick. So this is Nick from Australia versus Jorn, and who knows where he's from. Probably some sort of northern European country of some type. Anyway, the map here is Venom's Pond. So this is, there's a lot of so-and-so person's pond. There's Pacer's Pond. I believe there's Abe's Pond. And they're basically just maps that surround a pond. Although this has a significant amount of metal, and wind is very good here too. I believe tidal is also really good. So there's these little tidal pools in here. Wind is very good, so of course air first is a possibility. In ProTA, the air balance remains basically the same as it was in OTA. So those who are familiar to watching OTA, you'll probably see a lot of things that look familiar, with the exception of what Nick is doing right now. He is going K-Bot first. K-Bot is viable on this. This is the release version. So I believe in the previous demo I have up here of Tiptushi and Venom, the K-Bot cons move a little faster. They did reduce their speed just a little bit to try and bring them more into balance with vehicle. And I think actually Venom's done a great job of achieving the balance there. Time will tell as we continue to play it. And so, of course, the more people who play, the more, not only just the more information we get, the more fun everyone has. So Nick has pushed out a pair of K-Bot cons quickly. Jorn has gone ahead and sent one Feffy all the way on his right. So that Jeffy will be doing a little bit of scouting. I have been told by wiser TA players than myself that it's important to scout all the time. And that includes just trying to figure out what your opponent is up to. So I don't think he really intends to get any kind of serious resources with this. But I expect that he intends to find out whether Nick went vehicle or K-Bot first, and if he's going air or where his expansion is headed. Just useful information all around. So you can see Jordan's gone ahead. He's dropping a metal maker to help convert some of this massive amount of wind energy he's got. And the Pee-wees discover the Jeffy, which runs right by the little sentries. I got the speed cranked right now. And, Nick decides not to take care of it. He's going to send these other guys in, I suppose. Oh, there you go. You can see he put out a Jethro. The homing missiles on a Jethro will take care of the Jeffy really easy. See, Jordan's going ahead and moving a con here to take this metal-rich island. This isn't exactly that exposed because this is elevated above the water here, so it's not like skeets can come along and take those out very easily. Jordan cranking out the flashes, sending them in both directions. Little Pee-wee raids coming down from Nick on both sides. EMG versus EMG. The flashes dispose of the Pee-wee with ease. So Pee-wees don't have a lot of armor. They've remained more or less unchanged from OTA. The one unit that did get a big change was the AK, which was truly pathetic in OTA. Again, nice job by Jordan there to clean up the raiding Pee-wees. He's got one that's getting through, but a handful of missile towers will make quick work of a Pee-wee. We'll see if Nick gets anything for his trouble on the right side here. More Pee-wees, more Pee-wee problems solved. A little bit of chase right now. But these 3 missile towers will be more than enough to handle that Pee-wee problem. Although, will he get the mechs? Nice job by Nick. Evading the patrol, but he gets nothing for all his trouble. Nick, you can see how quickly he's capped on the top side here. He's at 32 metal to Jordan's 29. You can see he's even capped in the middle. So he's just been cranking out cons, playing this like it's a metal map, basically. He's just had a handful of Pee-wees to protect. Jordan's single flash gets through. Pair of flashes right here, and this flash will go ahead and do a decent amount of damage. A nice job. Gets all 3 mexes, picks up 2 more here. Excellent job evading the Pee-wees. And he doesn't manage to get the con, but I'd certainly say that that was worth it. He's got more flashes coming in, going for the con. Nick nano blocking, unable to save it. But Nick has plenty more cons. See what Nick is already doing? This is something that he has become infamous for, is he is building wins. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 K-Bot cons on wins, 1 building a row of Metal Makers too. But because he went all those cons, that's why he's really short on units here. So Jorn's handful of flashes have gone up and cleaned up a decent amount of the resources. Nick managed to protect the con right there by dropping a hasty Dragon's Tooth. Nick returning the favor down here, cleaning out the corner. We got some Pee-wees in place, but Jorn's just hooked a bunch of missile towers to cover that territory. But for every row of missile towers he has, Nick has a row of winds going. And in case you weren't aware, missile towers don't make any resources. The Pee-wees are unable to survive the missile tower onslaught. They don't get anything for their trouble. And Jorn manages to secure both corners, whereas Nick doesn't have resources on either of his. He's gone air in the middle. More hooked missile towers from Natas there. 2 factories right now, and you can see both of them are more heavily invested in getting their wind farms going than they are in producing any kind of serious onslaught right now. Flash versus flash, about even numbers on the right side. And a bunch of Pee-wees against nothing but missile towers on the left. Jorn's gone ahead and capped that Geo right there, building some Dragon's Teeth around it to make sure it's protected. For those who aren't in the know, the same key you use for hook that you can use to build rows. If you want to build and encircle something, all you have to do is hold down Shift and your hook key, which is defaulted to X, and then click on the structure, and that's how you're able to build around something like a Geo or a tower without actually having to click individual Dragon's Teeth. Pee-wees incoming. These missile towers will make really quick work through them if Nick isn't pay attention. Once again, it looks like Natas quickly getting by, but he doesn't get anything with it. He's too busy noticing the Pee-wees getting cleaned up on the left side. Jorn in the lead on resources, a 56 to 47. Having the corners capped is the difference right now. Now Nick is control seeing. When you get on these big building maps and you just want to spam and send stuff in, that tends to be an easier way to build up your forces and get them in a nice big ball. Yes, those are wind farms. On this map, where wind is very common, where wind is very good, it's a good idea to just build as many of them as possible. All right, and we have Jorn in the sea. There we go. I don't believe he walked his commander over there. He might have just built that with a con. The con build range has been increased in ProTA, which means you can actually just have a con vehicle build a shipyard just from the shore, which wasn't something you could do before. Again, nice job just keeping him off of these metal extractors in the corner. He doesn't give him too much wreckage for the trouble. Really kind of stopping Nick from expanding. Nick's got his own hooked rows of missile towers. And the reason for doing this is because you've got a lot to do. Missile towers are relatively cheap, they're effective, and they don't take a lot of time for you to get a defense going with them. And they control a lot of territory. But even so, Natas has slipped by, and so he now has flashes that are able to go up. Nick panic building a LLT right here. We'll see if he manages to get it done on time. He does, but that LLT isn't going to do enough damage to stop him from coming through, taking out some winds, taking out metal extractors once again. Nick looks like he's in trouble. I don't know what happened there. It looks like Nick self-destructed some flashes. I'm not exactly sure why. Heavy laser tower, 3 light laser towers, and all those flashes with the missile towers behind. This defense will easily hold. The heavy laser towers is lost. 2 light laser towers and a heavy laser tower lost for all those flashes. Definitely work it for Jordan. That's a lot of wreckage too for him to clean up right there. Still pressing through. Jordan trying to exploit the hole, but the missile tower wall is closing in, and the door is now closed on that side. These flashes are still going through and tearing up the back. You can just see how, in the hands of a good player, just a single unit getting through can do some serious damage. Nick finally now has closed down those access into the corners. You see, instead of actually capping, he's moved in here with his cons, and he's hooked a whole bunch of missile towers just to try and protect him. Both are C, nobody's really contesting it. Jordan gone ahead with the advanced shipyard right away. Nick's comm is in the water. And the skeet is harassing Nick's construction units because Nick loves his construction units. You can see he's cranking out some advanced construction units too. Jordan is advanced as well. He's advanced air. He's got his comm working on building Hawks. A little early for Hawks. But if you get a big ball, you can do a decent amount of damage with it. And Jordan knows from his flashes coming in through the back that makes it a little bit light on the anti-air on the backside. And he's building a Millennium. He intends to bring forth the naval artillery guns to shell the shore. EMG force on the left side with Nick, by Nick. This missile tower will be sure to get his attention. See Nick self-destructing because he's planning self-destructing the metal extractor because he's planning on dropping a Moho. You can see he's already got these capped on that side. Ready to join. Relying on winds. You can see how for a big force, missile towers just basically act as a speed bump. This, on the other hand, 3 heavy laser towers, 3 light laser towers, that's more than just a speed bump. This should cover the territory quite well. Nick realizes that, and he decides he's going to back up. Securing this over here, though, is going to be good for him. You can see he's already moved cons in, and he's dropping missile towers to protect. The big ship is here. Skeet's moving in for line of sight. And the Millennium opens fire. In ProTA, the Millennium, I believe, had its range increased. So it's a better unit than it was before. See how quickly, just being out of range, he's got this Eagle, which is a radar plane. That's enabling him to have radar in here, and he can actually radar target. Completely clears the shore defense of Nick out of the way. Nick, on the other hand, though, he has a bunch of destroyers ready to go. And so this Millennium is quite vulnerable at this point. That's not enough skeets to protect it. Nick realizes after his bomber comes in. Jordan wisely decides it's time to withdraw. (1v9), not good. here's where the early Hawks come into play. He's actually going to be able to protect his Millennium. That's a lot of metal on the bottom of the ocean right there. With the missile towers out of the way, Jordan is free to bring in the Hawks and clear Nick out of his front island right here. Jordan at 164, but despite the fact that he's just managed to take Nick out of this island, Nick is actually ahead on resources, 185. Lots of VMGs. He's now cranking out Warriors. Warriors have been moved to T2. See, just marching out of the factory right here. Lots of Stumpies, too. On the right side, nothing but missile towers. Nick hasn't even bothered capping the metal over here. Lots of tidal farms. Jordan sends in a sub. Nick's commander runs away in fear. And the Millennium is just pounding away with the Hawks out there. And no real anti-air that he's able to bring up. This would be enough to sink that Millennium. But not with the Hawks protecting it. Doesn't appear as if Nick has gone air himself yet. He is building a Big Bertha. That should sink that ship. And here comes the big force. And by that I mean the big force on the right side. This Millennium is just really doing work right here. 38 kills. So you can see just the right unit in the right place. Nick's remaining Navy is just sitting here waiting patiently to be slaughtered. This is Mers El Kabir, apparently, except without the airstrikes. Nick's Navy's wiped out in the harbor. But this force is large. I believe... No, he is blind on the left side here. He does not have radar up. The downside with this force, though, is it has no anti-air. But again, just kind of coming off of one factory. Oh, now he's got two. So he's going to have a decent number of Hawks. He'll slowly be able to chip away at this if Nick manages to break through. This is some heavy defense, though. Multiple light laser towers. Red and green lasers flying in. Here come the Hawks. Warriors can take a beating, but they certainly can't take that. Looks like Nick's force will be turned back. Jordan is very well protected, very well porked up right here. Now, it looks like these Hawks are doing a lot of work, but again, Nick doesn't really have anything that can do any serious damage to them. Just these missile towers would be enough to actually scare the Hawks away. So, good job by Natas right there, not to commit those Hawks to anything more serious than just scaring off the attackers. He doesn't have critical mass of Hawks right now. If he goes and he sends them in, he leaves himself vulnerable. Fusion coming up, more Hawk factories. Nick's gone air. Lots of Zeuses. These are going to be a lot tougher. They're kind of the ARM equivalent of the can. But with the offshore batteries here, 1, 2, 3 Millenniums. Nick just really doesn't have an answer for what's going on in the ocean here. This is a nice little trap setup too, because Millenniums are quite vulnerable to Hawks. So even if Nick did build up a swarm, there's this Archer, a flagship right here, which will do more than it will punch way above its weight when it comes to taking out Hawks. Commander, this is a little bit of a dangerous spot for Jordan right here. He's only got a handful of missile towers and Hawks protecting his commander, which is not cloaked. Let's see. I don't remember seeing where Nick ran off to. Here you go. You can see Nick is cranking out a bunch of Samsons. This will have the effect of scaring off the Hawks. And these phalanxes, these flak units, are excellent at tearing through Hawks. So if you really got to protect a strong ground force, a handful of phalanxes will do the trick. Millenniums, again, shelling. That's 4 Millenniums over here. Hawks over here on the right side of the map, and Nick now pushes in. A lot of wreckage kind of blocking up the way. These Dragon's Teeth are certainly in the way too. I don't know if this force will be able to break through. There's this little gap right here. That might be the weak point. Nick sees it and he starts to exploit it. In come the Hawks to try and plug it. More Hawks coming in. You can see here, Jordan's gone ahead and set up the little Hawk racetrack right here. The anti-air is too far back. Shelling here. See, Nick's trying to respond with the Guardian. That might be just a little too late. The Zeus is coming down, attacking from both sides. The Hawks can't be in two places at once. And they're over the Samsons, so you can see some of the Hawks are starting to go down. I don't see the Phalanx up here with it, though. The fortifications have fallen, though. Nick's managed to take out all of the light laser towers. There's a hole in the defense right here. He's trying to plug it quickly with Panthers. Zeus is marching down. They are now too far away from the Millenniums. I believe, it definitely seems to me like Jordan's got a advanced radar targeting up. Yes, he does. So there he is. That's why his Millenniums are able to shoot with such effectiveness. He's able to just move right up against the shore. He's got this radar out here, so he's able to see what he's shooting at. So this is all targets. It's just waiting to be destroyed by those Millenniums. You can see the Hawks are a little bit thinned right here, thanks to the Samsons. Metal for metal, Samsons versus Hawks. The Samsons come out ahead. It's just difficult to pack as many Samsons in the same amount of space as you can in a certain number of Hawks. Zeus is marching down. I think this will be more than enough to hold. So the weakness is definitely here on the left side. You can see here the Phalanx is in. And it's firing away, although right now it's on the front. It makes it very weak, and it gets taken out. Nick awfully close to breaking through the back line of missile towers here. Millenniums are just absolutely shredding. Which I never thought I'd see the day where Millenniums win a game. We gotta see. 143 kills, 66 kills, 62 kills, and 89. Still going up. 145, 146. These Millenniums are just tearing it up. I believe Nick was dropping a Bertha, but it is not done. His land force, though, continues to stream. This is kind of having the effect of pinning Natas' Hawks down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Millenniums now. They're not able to break through that wreckage. I'm not sure what's going on there. So they're all shelling K-bots they can't hit. So Zeus has managed to get up close, but they don't do anything either. They're not quite long enough range compared to Millenniums. Because of his naval barrage, Jordan is able to break through with the Panther. Realizing he needs help, he brings one of his big ships over here on the left side. Hopefully he's got his radar up now. Yes, he does. So he's able to see what's going on there. See all the shelling going on right here. You can just see the swath of space that's been cleared by the Millenniums. Nick's breakthrough is once again stymied. Panthers and Hawks filling the gap. And now Jordan has managed to drop 1, 2, 3 ambushers and a Guardian, 4 ambushers and a Guardian, along with the Millennium. That will likely stop things. He's got shore batteries here, though, actually giving the Millennium some trouble, although I think basically each one of these is like 2 Guardians. So he's got them way outgunned. See, he's starting to repair the Guardians. This flagship's out of position, but I don't think Nick has any serious anti-air. Here you go. The Big Bertha is able to open fire. Manages to score a hit on the Millennium. Just kind of nicked it, though. Near miss. Bertha needs to actually get some veterancy before it's going to be able to do that much damage. That's just too many Hawks at this point. Unless Nick's got some serious flag. Let's see where he's at here. Yes, he's got flag. Nick says, I'm dead. That is probably correct. Jordan's got him outproduced only by about 50 metal. Well, no, actually, it looks like it's only by about 20. But Jordan's just got the units that he needs. You know, I gotta say, I wasn't necessarily a believer in the Millenniums right away, but I am now. Especially on this map. Bertha's firing away. Miss. I think this is actually a little too close for the Bertha at this point. Big stream of attackers still going down the left side. But I think Jordan safely got this closed up. Jordan just relying on radar targeting at this point. We'll speed it up here. I think we know how this one's going to end. And 1 Millennium finally goes down, sunk by the Big Bertha. Big Bertha's getting its veterancy. It's actually scoring some hits. There goes another. But the Bertha goes down, brought down by the very Millenniums it was trying to destroy. Panther counterattack goes into play. See the speed of the Panthers moving here, but there's just too many units in the way. They're going to find themselves taken out. Jordan goes through, he's starting to clean up. Nick says, good game. That is probably the correct call at that point. His offense is going to go down. He doesn't have any way to deal with the Millenniums. Great job. I got to say, like I said, I'd never seen a game where Millenniums win a game. So this is a good map. I've played it a couple times, so I recommend you guys check it out. You can check out ProTA too. I know it also plays well in Escalation. It's high resource, but because of the water and the way the land is shaped, there's a bunch of fun different ways to play this. So works well 2v2 and 3v3 too. Anyway, so hope you guys enjoyed that one. I'm glad to be back here. I'm going to try and put out a couple. And I'll do my best to stay up with uploads, although right now I'm in the middle of my business is in full swing, so I've got lots of stuff to keep me busy other than making fantastic content for all you guys. But because I've not been regular, you want to make sure you're notified when I upload. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and then also make sure you hit the like button and leave us a comment and let me know if there's anything in particular you want to see. And let's get on to the next game. All right, everybody, you take care. Bye.